Daf Yomi, Tractate Sanhedrin, page 95a. The last word of the previous Amud was asking, what is the meaning of, and now we're on the top of 95a. Aniya Anatot. What is the meaning of those words? Aniya Anatot. Poor Anatoth, Isaiah 10:30. Asid Yirmiyahu ben Chilkiyahu misna be'alei ma'anos tichsiv divrei Yirmiyahu ben Chilkiyahu min hakohanim asher ba'anatos be'eretz Binyamin. Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, is destined to prophesy about Nebuchadnezzar from Anatoth, as it is written with statements of Jeremiah, son of Hilkiah, of the priests who were in Anatoth in the land of Benjamin. Jeremiah 1:1. Midami Hasamari Hachalaish Amar Yochanan Shisha Shemus Yesh Le'ari Elohen. Ari, Kefir, Lavi, Laish, Shachal, Shachatz. Ihachi Batzrulahu Avru Mi'abara Tartenin. Gemara asks, are these matters comparable? There in Jeremiah, Nebuchadnezzar is called Ari, as the verse refers to him with the term Aryeh, a lion. And here in Isaiah, Nebuchadnezzar is called Laish. The Gemara explains that the verses are not contradictory. As Rabbi Yochanan says, there are 6 Hebrew terms for the lion, and they are Ari, Kefir, Lavi, Laish, Shachal, and Shachatz. The Gemara challenges, if it is so that this verse is unrelated to the journeys of Sanhedrin, then the places listed in the verses are too few, as there are not 10. The Gemara explains, Averu and Mabara are in fact the names of the 2 separate places. Mai od hayom benov la'amod Amar Rav Huna oto hayom nishtayer me'ona shel nov amri le kaldai iyazal ta'idena yachalt la ila lo yachalt la Orche di ba'aya lesagoye be'asara yome saga bechad yoma. The Gemara asks, what is the meaning of the phrase, this very day shall he halt at Nob? Isaiah 10:32. Rav Huna says, that was the final day that remained from the punishment that the Jewish people received from the sin of Nob. See 1 Samuel chapter 22. The astrologer said to Sanhedrin, if you go and conquer them now, you will overcome the Jewish people, and if not, you will not overcome the Jewish people. The Gemara relates, he walked and traversed in one day a road upon which one must walk for 10 days in order to traverse it. Kimato Yerushalayim Shadole Bistarke Ad Disarik Viatev Mal Livai Shura. When they arrived in Jerusalem, they cast mats for Sanhedrin and piled them high until he ascended and sat above the wall, to the extent that he was able to see the entire city of Jerusalem. Ki chazia izutar be'enei amar alo deikarta Yerushalayim dera. When he saw it, it seemed small in his eyes. And he said, is this the city of Jerusalem for which I have disrupted all my camps and for which I have conquered all these countries? Mobil bete biyade al tur bet mikdasha dib Tzion al azarta dib Yerushalayim. It is smaller and weaker than all the cities of the nations I have conquered with my might. He went up and shook his head in contempt and dismissively waved his hand at the Temple Mount that is in Zion and at the courtyard that is in Jerusalem. Amri, his officer, said to him, Nijde be yada ha'idena amar lehu tamitu lemachar ayato li kol chad v'chad benaychu gumlo harag benay. Miyad vayihi balayla hu ויצא מלאך אדוני ויח במחנה אשור 185 א' השגיעו בבוקר והנה כולם פגעים מתים. אמר פאפה היינו דאמרי אינשי בת דינה בתה לינה. His officers said to him, let us attack now and begin the conquest of Jerusalem. Sanhedrin said to them, you are weary. Tomorrow each and every one of you will bring me a piece of stone from the wall equivalent to the size of the seal gulmo harag of a letter, and this will suffice to breach the wall and vanquish the city. The verse recounts that immediately. And it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord went forth and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when men arose in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. 2 Kings 19:35. Rav Papa says that this is in accordance with the adage that people say, when quarrel lies and is delayed overnight, the quarrel is nullified. Since Jerusalem was not conquered that day, the decree was voided. His arrogance, he should have וישבי בנוב אשר מילא חרבה משקל כאינו 300 משקל נחושת וכגור חדשה ויאמר להכות את דוד מה הביא יושבי בנוב אמר רב יהוד אמר רב איש שבא על עסקי נוב אמר לי הקדוש ברוך הוא לדוד עד מתי יהיה עוון זה טמון בידיך על ידך נהרג הנוב עיר הכהנים ועל ידך נטרד דואג האדומי ועל ידך נהרגו שאול ושלושת בניו. Apropos to the massacre of Nov, the Gemara relates, and Ish bin Nov, who was of the sons of the giant, the weight of whose spear was 300 shekels of brass, and he was girded with new armor and planned to slay David. 2 Samuel 21:16. The Gemara asks, what is the meaning of Ishbi Nebov? Ishbi Vayishbi Benov. Ishbi Benov. Ishbi Benov. Rabbi Yehuda says that Rav says, this is a man, Ish, who came to punish David over the matters of Nov. The Holy One, blessed be he, said to David, until when will this sin be concealed in your hand without punishment? Through your actions and the inhabitants of Nov, the city of priests were massacred. And through your actions, Doeg the Edomite was banished from the world to come. And through your actions, Saul and his 3 sons were killed. Ritzoncha yechla zaracha, o timaser biyad oyev, amar lefanav ribono shel olam, mutav emaser biyad oyev v'lo yechla zari. God said to David, your arrival in Nov and your misleading Achimelech the priest generated a chain of events, and therefore you must be punished. You may choose the punishment. Is it your desire that your descendants will cease to exist, or that you will be handed to the enemy? David said before him, Master of the universe, it is preferable that I will be handed to the enemy, and my descendants will not cease to exist. Yom achad nafak lishchor b'zayeh ata satan v'idmi le ketavaya patach be gira v'lo mate mashche ad di amate l'eretz Pelishtim כדחזיה יושבי בנוב, אמר, היינו היי דקתלה דגליית אחי, קמתה עוטווה, בשדיה תותה בסדיה. אית אבית לניסה מחה לערה בתותה. היינו דכתיב תרחיב צעדי תחתאי ולא מעדו קרסולי. One day David went to hunt with a falcon. Satan came and appeared to him as a deer. He shot an arrow at the deer, and the arrow did not reach it. Satan led David to follow the deer until he reached the land of the Philistines. When Ishbi-Benob saw David, he said, "That is the person who killed Goliath, my brother." He bound him, doubled him over, and placed him on the ground. And then he cast him under the beam of an olive press to crush him. A miracle was performed for him, and the earth opened beneath him, so that he was not crushed by the beam. That is the meaning of that which is written, "You have enlarged my steps beneath me, that my feet did not slip." Psalms 18:37. Ahu yoma apan yidmali shabdahave. The Gemara relates that day at dusk on Shabbat Eve, Avishai ben Seruya habaka chayef reshe be'arba'a garve damaya. Avishai ben Seruya shampooed his hair with 4 jugs of water in preparation for Shabbat. He saw 4 bloodstains. Chazinu kemte dama ikad amri asayona itrif kamem. There are those who say that a dove came and fluttered its wings before him. Amar Knesset Yisrael Yonah Amitila Shneimar Kanfei Yonah Nichba Bekesef Shmamina David Malka di Yisrael B'tzara Shareh Atar B'teh V'lo Ashkache Amar Tanan Ein Rochvin al Suso Ein Yoshvin al Kiso V'em Mishtamshim B'shar Bito B'shat Sekana Mai Ata She'el B'midrasha Amrele B'shat Sekana Shapir Dameh. So basically, we were up to where Abishai ben Seruya shampooed his hair and he saw bloodstains. There are those who say that a dove came and fluttered its wings before him. Abishai said the congregation of Israel is likened to a dove. As it is stated, you shall shine as the wings of a dove covered with silver, and her pinions with yellow gold. Psalm 68:14 conclude from it that David, king of Israel, is in a state of distress. He came to David's house and did not find him. Abishai said that we learned in the Mishnah in 22a, one may not ride on the king's horse, and one may not sit on his throne, and one may not use his scepter. In a period of danger, what is the halacha? He came and asked in the study hall what the ruling is in that situation. They said to him, in a period of danger, one may well do so. Rachbe lefirde v'kam v'azir kapatza le'aram be'ad edekamisa ki chazir la'ar ba'amet te'ave navla ki chazite paskate lifilka shadete ilave savra lemiktle amra le ulam ayeteri palach. He mounted the king's mule and arose and went to the land of the Philistines. The land miraculously contracted for him, and he arrived quickly. As he was progressing, he saw Orpah, Ish-Bebenob's mother, who was spinning thread with a spindle. When she saw him, she removed her spindle and threw it at him, intending to kill him. After failing to do so, she said to Abishai, "Young man, bring me my spindle." He threw the spindle and struck her at the top of her brain and killed her. Kad chazi yashbi benov, amarash dava bet train v'katlin le, patkel David ale v'ratz le lerumeche, amar nipol ale niptal. Amar Avisha Shem, Okmel David ben Shmael Ara, when Ishbi Benov saw him, he said, "Now there are two, David and Abishai, and they will kill me." He threw David up in the air and stuck his spear up into the ground. He said, "Let David fall upon it and die." Abishai recited a sacred name of God and suspended David between heaven and earth so that he would not fall. ונאם עליהו, אין חבוש מוציא עצמו מבית האסורים. That's an important concept. אין חבוש מוציא עצמו מבית האסורים. The Gematria is 1514. It's a wild story. Sanhedrin 95a. Sanhedrin 95a. Okay. Okay, the Gemara asks, and let David himself recite the name of God and save himself. Why did he need Abishai to do that? The Gemara answers, a prisoner does not release himself from a prison, but requires someone to release him. Similarly, one in danger is incapable of rescuing himself. Okay? Yeah. The Gemara asks, and let David himself recite the name of God. Oh yeah. Okay. Amar le, my ba'it. Haha. Amar le, haki amar li akadosh, amar li kucha brichu. Haki hadede le, amar le, epoch tzilotaich. Bar brach kira lisbon. Yat lo titzta'ar. Abishai said to David, "Why do you seek here? What do you seek here? And why did you fall into Ishbi Nabob's hands?" David said to him, "This is what the Holy One, blessed be He, said to me, and this is what I responded to him. The time to submit to my enemy has arrived." Abishai said to him, "Reverse your prayer and pray that your descendants will cease to exist, rather than that you will be handed to the enemy in accordance with the adage that people say, let your son's son be a poor peddler and sell wax, and you will not suffer. Do not limit your expenses to leave an inheritance for your descendants." Amar le. How much time do you have here? Wow, 18 minutes already. Well, Amar le yachisai v'hadan haynu dichti v'zar lo Avisha ben Suruya. Amar Rav Yehuda Marav she'ezro b'tfilah. Amar Avishai Shem be'achate. David said to him, "If so, help me." That is the meaning of what is written. And Abishai, son of Tzeruiah, came to his aid and smote the Philistine and killed him. 2 Samuel 21:17. Rabbi Yehuda says that Rav says this means that he came to his aid in prayer. Abishai recited another sacred name of God and caused David to land safely after being suspended between heaven and earth. And they fled. Havakara def bat raihu kimetoku be'amri kumbe kimato betre amri betre guriavan katlu le'arya amri le zil ishtakach le'arpa imach bikivra ki yadgole נשמע לי מה, ככה שחילה וקטלו. היינו דכתיב, אז נשבעו אנשי דוד לו, לאמור לא תצא עוד איתנו למלחמה, ולא תכבה את נר ישראל. Ishbi pursued him, intending to kill them. When they reached Ishbi Benov, when they reached a place named Kuvi, they said, the name of the place is an abbreviation for the phrase meaning stand and battle. Kuvi Kumbe, stand and battle against him. Kumbe. It's like combat, maybe. And when they reached the place called Beit Tereh, David and Avishai said, with 2 cubs they killed a lion, meaning they expected to be successful. They said to Ishbi Benov, go find Orpah your mother in the grave. When they mentioned his mother's name to him and told him she died, his strength diminished, and they killed him. The Gemara notes, it is after this that it is written, then David's men took an oath to him, saying, you shall not go with us to war anymore, and you will not douse the lamp of Israel. 2 Samuel 21:17. Tanu Rabbanan Shlosha Kavtza Lahem Haaretz. Eliezer Eved Abraham V'Yaakov Avinu V'Avishai ben Seruia. Avishai ben Seruia Had Yamran Eliezer Eved Abraham Dichtiv V'Avo Hayom El Ha'ain L'Memra De'ahu Yom HaNafak Yaakov Avinu. On Yom HaNafak. Okay, and then Avraham Avinu, Yaakov Avinu is going to be continued on the next page. The sages taught in a Braita with regard to the land contracting to shorten the journey. For 3 individuals, the land contracted, and each one miraculously reached his destination quickly. Eliezer, the servant of Abraham, and Jacob, our forefather, and Avishai, son of Zeruiah. The more elaborates. In the case of Avishai and Zeruiah, that is that which we said. We just talked about his land becoming right. To help David, I think that's what it was. Yeah. In the case of Eliezer, the servant of Abraham, it is written, "And I came today to the well." Genesis 24:42. His intention was to say to members of Rebekah's family that on that day he left Canaan, and on the same day he arrived, to underscore the miraculous nature of his undertaking on behalf of Abraham. The case of Jacob, of Abraham, and then the case of Jacob will be on the next page.